Hopefully you can hear and see me. Oh, good. Okay. Then we know that, not everything has changed, just a few things. Okay. So find your comfortable seat. Take a few moments to situate yourself. And then as you start to find more length and start to connect with the ground, eyes can soften if that feels okay. And just start to let your breath move a little bit more evenly, smoothly, and slowly. Tune into the places in your body that are there speaking up. Tune into those sensations, whatever they happen to be. And even notice if there are any new ones today. There's no right or wrong answer. Might feel the same as usual, but it might feel different. And tune into an intention for yourself, for your own practice. And bring your hands to connect at heart center. As you gently press your palms together, lift your ribs up higher, lift your heart up higher. And on your exhale, bow toward your heart. Then softly open your eyes, release your hands down. And then lift up and back with your shoulders, start to lift up with your gaze. We'll spend a little time with the neck and shoulders. So now as you bring your fingertips just behind your hips, press down and start to lift up and open through the chest. As you do so, keep a little control through the low belly and ribs. So try to engage the core just slightly. Take a full inhale and maybe press down further and lift up a little higher. Think of your ribs moving and your collarbones moving. And then come all the way back upright. Walk your hands out to your knees and press your spine back into your cat-like pose. As you round back through your spine, add a couple of movements here, side to side swaying, letting each side of your back get a little more length. Then inhale upright, and we'll come to gratitude. Palms are up, find that rotation through the upper arm bones, expanding through the front of the chest. Add a couple of movements up and down with shoulder blades. And then let them stay still on your back. Re-rotate with your arms, a little squeeze with the shoulder blades, and then tuck your chin down. And just let your head roll from side to side. Think of ear moving towards your shoulder on each side. And if you find that one side has a little extra tension, maybe stay there for a couple of breaths before moving back to the other side. And then come back to center, release your arms down. Give your shoulders a big roll up and back, a hug of your shoulder blades onto your back. And now fists at the low back, and use your fists pressing down to help you lift up further with your shoulders. Again, hug back with the elbows. Turn your gaze over to the right side and tuck your chin down. Add a couple nods and shakes toward your right armpit. And then back through center and over to the left side. As you tuck your chin down, keep hugging back with elbows, and then add a few of those nods and shakes. And then come back to center and release your arms, and you're welcome to switch the cross of your legs here if you would like to. And then moving sitting bones. Bring your hands to your upper thighs to give a little press, and then lift up through your sides. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. As you take your right ear over to your right shoulder, keep your shoulder blades hugging onto your back. And lengthen out through the left shoulder. Inhale back upright. And exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And then lengthen out through the right shoulder. Inhale back upright. And take your hands in front to clasp. Pull forward with your arms, round back into the upper back. Chin is tucking in toward your chest. Add a couple of movements here. Side to side swaying through the shoulders. And then back upright, sitting tall. Walk your hands forward, coming as far into a fold as your body is ready for. Feel free to add some propping here underneath elbows. As you take a couple of deep breaths, feel free to add some movement through your torso. A little side to side sway, or a little movement through your hips. And then rise up to your hands. We're going to shift forward onto hands and knees now. And as you come to hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And we'll rotate elbow pits forward and push, expanding into the upper back. And then gentle tilt upward with your sitting bones. And now let's take side to side sways through shoulders and hips, lengthening from hip to armpit. As you come back to center now, tuck your toes under, repress through your hands for that expansion into the upper back, and then lift your hips up and back for your downward dog. As you take a couple of deep breaths here, pedal out, bending one knee at a time, letting hips shift a little, maybe allow a little movement through the shoulders and the torso. And then tilt sitting bones up high. And now walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into your forward fold at the back of your mat. Take as many walks with your hands, as deep a bend to your knees as you need. Take an inhale and lengthen. Sitting bones lift up, heart moves forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. And then walk your hands back out to your down dog. Pause, press from your back muscles out through your hands. Tilt your sitting bones up. And then walk your feet forward. Coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Props here for your hands if you would like. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale, fold over your legs. And then as you plant fingertips, you can use blocks. You can use the floor if you want. Step right foot back into your lunge. Pause for a moment to center with your hips and bend in deeply to that front knee. Find the distance that your shin can go that's right for your body. A little more dorsiflexion. And then work your front leg towards straight. And then bend into your front knee, turn and plant your back heel, bring right elbow to knee, just kidding, left elbow to knee, right hand to hip, turning your belly to the right side, take a full big breath, bend deeper into your front knee and open it up. Then on your exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat, tuck your back toes and step forward. Next exhale, left foot steps back. Pause and find that centering action with your hips. Bend deeply into your front knee. Find your depth of dorsiflexion. Then work your front leg towards straight. Full big breath as you lengthen through your sides. Inhale, bend into your front knee, turn and plant your back heel. Bring right elbow to knee, left hand to hip. Start to turn your belly and heart to the left side. As you open up with your torso, full breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat. And now you're going to tuck your back toes and step forward. Inhale, lengthen part way, sitting bones up, heart lifts. Exhale, fold in. Plant fingertips, step right foot back into your lunge. And for a moment, take a deep lunge, bending deeply into your front knee, extending ribs and collarbones. And then work your front leg towards straight. And even bump your back foot in so that your whole foot can come to the ground. And your toes get to be aimed forward. So find feet aimed both forward. Wrap back with your left hip. Push your left big toe mound down. And then send sitting bones up. Extend your heart further forward. Push with your hands and expand into the upper back. Then bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, left foot steps back. And again, take a deeper lunge first to bend into your front knee. Extend your ribs and collarbones forward. Wrap your right hip back. Then work your right leg towards straight. Bump your left foot in. Find that distance that works for both feet to be planted. Wrap your right hip back again and send your sitting bones up, heart forward, and then push with your hands. Expand into the thoracic spine, the upper back, the ribs, in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, bend into the front knee and step forward. Exhale, fold in. And now hands to hips, press back on hips, lift up with shoulders and elbows, unhinge the hips and rise. And as you come up to stand, set yourself up, feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, turn your palms forward, take your mountain pose, take a full big breath as you find an even balance with your feet, an even balance with your breath. And notice the sensations that are showing up in your body today. And now you're shifting over to your left foot. Press into your left foot, squeeze your left glutes. Turn your right toes sideways, finding that opening for the hip, the work of the glute. And then as you push into your standing leg, if you'd like to bring your right foot up to the side of your leg, you can, or you can keep a kickstand. You're welcome to pick it up and set it up higher if you want to. As you open with the right knee and open with the left shoulder, pause, tone through the core, maybe stretch up. Tree pose variation here. Take a full big breath. Then drawing your knee forward, press your heel back, heart forward. And if you'd like, you can bring your hands down to blocks. If you'd like, you can challenge your balance with your hands staying lifted, coming into this warrior three. Wrap your left hip back. Wrap your right hip down. Tone through the core, engage through the low belly, the ribs. And then set your foot down. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips. Press back on hips. Lift with shoulders and elbows. Unhinge the hips and rise. And then as you come back up to your mountain, find that even balance, samastitihi. As you let your eyes soften, let your breath be long, slow, and deep. And then shift over to your right foot. And squeeze the right glute as you push into the ground with your right foot. Turn your left toes sideways, your knee open. And from that place, stay squeezing with the right glute as you find your variation of tree pose. You decide what that looks like. So now opening the left knee, opening the right shoulder. Engage through the core and then maybe stretch up. If that really affects your balance, you can always keep your hands at your hips instead. Take a full breath. Then left knee is forward, press your heel back. Feel free to stay upright or bring your hands down to your props, if you have two of them. Wrap your right hip back. Left hip rotates down. Pull in through your low belly and your ribs. Full big breath. And then release. Left foot back down, fold over your legs. And then plant hands and step back. Find your downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath. And then lower knees down, big toes together, knees wide. Settle hips back towards your heels into your child's pose. And as you settle back, you can let your head settle onto the ground, onto stacked hands, or onto a prop. And send your breath back into your low back. Maybe add a little bit of movement to help send your hips further back. Maybe walk your fingertips a little further forward. And then gently bring yourself back upright to your seat. We're gonna come down onto sitting bones and bring legs out to the front. And we'll take right leg out wide, left heel in towards your groin, and then move your sitting bones. Feel free to prop under your right leg, under your left knee, or under your hips. Press down with fingertips, lift your heart up high. And then right fingertips inside your right knee, left hand to your hip. As you start to turn toward your bent knee, toward the left side, put your shoulder blades on your back. Take a full big breath. Stay here, or maybe work your hand down your leg toward your foot. Wherever that happens to be, stay turned open through your torso. You can always stretch the top arm if that feels good, but sometimes that just makes the shoulders round. Inhale back upright, and then bring the right foot in. So same side, but narrow the stance, right foot in or left foot into the side of your leg. Lift your torso, lift up through your sides. As you exhale, draw ribs in and start to twist to the right side. You can reach across with your left hand if you would like to. Inhale, longer and taller. Exhale, ribs in to twist. And then once again, you're welcome to walk your hand down your leg if you want to take a hold of your foot or anywhere on the side of your leg. Full big breath. Inhale back upright. And then we'll switch sides. Left leg extends out wide. Right heel in towards your groin. Prop. You have those three options of places to prop. And this side might feel different, so maybe you prop differently. Move your sitting bones. And I'm going to prop underneath my knee, actually. And then as you bring your left fingertips just inside your left knee, start to turn your belly and your heart to the right. Lengthen through your sides. Stay open as you start to work your hand down the inside of your leg, maybe towards your foot, maybe somewhere else on your leg. Feel free to stretch up. Find where your torso can stay open and long. Full breath. Inhale back upright and bring left foot in, right foot into the side of your leg. And then as you lift up taller, move your sitting bones again. And then exhale, ribs in to help you start to twist. Reach across with your right hand. Inhale, longer and taller. Exhale, ribs in to twist. And then feel free to work your way into that fold as far as your body would like to go. Big full breath. Inhale back upright. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So bend both knees. And make sure props are close by. And then as you make your way onto your back, footprints are on the ground. Take feet wide and take a few slow windshield wipers. Then back into center with your feet and your knees coming into about hip distance. And then we'll do that movement through the pelvis. A little forward and back tilt, anterior and posterior tilt. Just bringing a little fluidity into the pelvis. And then come to a neutral place for your pelvis. And cross left ankle over right knee. And pick your legs up towards your body as close as you would like. And remember, you can always keep foot on the ground or set a prop underneath your foot. Left thumb into your hip crease. Think of pushing against the upper thigh. Push the upper thigh forward. Walk your hips a little further forward. As you push against your thigh, maybe bring your legs in a little closer. Maybe not. That's okay. Take a full big breath wherever that is. And then gently release both feet to the ground. And pick right ankle up over left knee. And as you pick your legs up toward your body, active through the feet. Thumb into the hip crease again, right thumb, right hip crease. Shift your sitting bones a little more forward. And push into the thigh bone. Push the thigh bone forward as you create as deep a stretch here as your body is ready for. Maybe draw your legs in even closer. Maybe not, depending on what your body is asking for. Full big breath. And then gently set your feet down. And once again, walk your feet wide. And as you take your slow windshield wipers this time, if it feels good to reach your arms overhead, you're welcome to. Or to hold opposite elbows, you're welcome to. And then start to work your way into a really comfortable resting pose. Decide what that looks like for you today. Find your Shavasana, settling in for a few moments. Bring awareness back to your breath. And some gentle movement into your fingers and toes. And as you're ready to, you can bend your knees, roll to your side. Take a moment to pause on your side for a full breath. And then very gently press yourself back upright to your seat. And with hands coming to connect at heart center, take another moment to let your breath be long, slow, and deep. Have a very peaceful and beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.